Hey, good afternoon. Today is the 21st of April. I'm Michael B., and once again, I'll be your host on the Anatomy of Modern Romance Scams. This is an ongoing podcast series where we're breaking down how these scams start, how they work, how trust gets built over time, how manipulation happens, not just manipulation, but severe manipulation, and how people are pulled into financial traps and obligations before they even realize it. I know this because, unfortunately, I let it happen to me. Even now, every day, there's consequences my family and I are still dealing with. I think that's going to happen for months and years to come. And my goal is very simple: to pull back the curtain so that you can recognize these scammers and these scams before they recognize you. I want to quantify a couple of things before I dive in. The first is that I try and keep my mouth clean. Okay, I try and keep this podcast clean. I try and relay information as unemotionally as I possibly can, just the truth, so that you can understand how things happen, so that you're involved in one of these. You can go, Michael, you know what? Here comes one. I'm getting the hell out right now. Good for you. Or if you haven't started, don't. That's one of the best decisions you will ever make in your entire life. I can guarantee that. Okay? And the last thing that I wanted to quantify a bit is I'm guilty of everything I'm talking about. Okay? This person was not completely 100% at fault. I am too. I'm not looking for forgiveness. I'm not looking for absolution. Again, I'm just trying to be honest. And these are extremely hard to record, because every episode that I do record, I'm reliving. And I can't tell you how painful that is. Sometimes it's excruciating. Now, I've stopped and started this podcast probably 30 times today because I couldn't make it through it. But this time I'm determined to do so. Now, in the last episode, we talked about how these scams actually start. We talked about how innocuous the message is. The innocent response that you might respond back with, that establishes the connection. Then comes the consistency, and finally a relationship develops. Is it an online relationship? In my case, a man with a woman? I believe it was. Am I guilty of that? Yes, I am. Okay? But we're not really at the beginning anymore. We've already talked about money. We've already talked about the first transaction, which went flawlessly. Okay? But this relationship has to be strong, and we're going to go down into how that gets stronger and why it needs to be strong. Here's the other thing that I'm hoping that I can get across in this podcast today. The mechanics, which I referred to several times, it's not just about the money, or the platforms, or the passwords. The mechanics are the entire story. From the time that the message hits your phone or your computer to the time that you get ghosted, and I guarantee you, you're going to get ghosted. When you don't have anything left to provide to this quote unquote false, phony relationship, you're going to get ghosted. It's going to happen. All right? But the mechanics are the entire process of this manipulation. And that's exactly what it is. It's manipulation for you, and it's loss. Those are the two things. So I don't care if it lasts for one day or a year like mine did. It's going to incorporate two things: manipulation and loss. I can guarantee that. Okay? This episode is one of the most important in this series, in my humble opinion, because there's going to come a pivot point, and we're going to talk about this today. Okay? Because when the money comes into the picture, you question it. You do. You will. You're going to pause. You're going to hesitate, and something inside of you is going to say, and it may happen more than once. Is wait a minute. What is this? I mean, is this really real? Can this actually? Can we really make this kind of money? And if we can, why hasn't anybody shown this to me? The questions start really going through your head, and this matters because it means a couple things. It means that your instincts are still working. It means that your head is still in the game. It means that that still small voice is trying to tell you, hey, you know what? You need to get out. Because that euphemism of if it's too good to be true, it usually is. Guess what? That somebody didn't just come up with that off the cuff. All right? Your instincts are still alive and well. So let's just say that you call the scammer out. I did. I did it a couple times. But notice what happens next. Okay? Kat, that was her name, supposedly. She didn't argue the details, didn't debate the platform, didn't even try to prove the system. Guess what she went back to? You guessed it, the relationship. Okay? Michael, why don't you trust me? Michael, have I given you a reason not to trust me? I'm trying to help you and your family. You asked me how I got to my position. I've given you pictures to prove where I live, how I live. I'm trying to help you get there. Nobody's showing you anything like that. You've already told me that. I'm trying to show you that. And here you're questioning me. I thought we were partners and all the things that we're planning. The farm, the place for your family, the place for my family, the place for all of our friends where they can come and retire and be with us. All of the plans that we're making. We're business partners in this. And you're questioning me. You see the shift? Okay. She just didn't respond. She did a complete reposition. Now, I hadn't been dressed down like that since I've been a young man. So, what was happening? She began working on my sense of right and wrong. You know, make me feel like I'm the one who created the problem. I was. I questioned. I doubted. And here it comes. Okay? You really hurt me. Michael, you have really, really hurt me. I haven't been treated like this in I don't know how long. Okay? It just kind of kept coming. And so then what? You know, this person knows me. They know that I'm sensitive and empathetic. I could feel it. And I did. I felt off balance, uncertain. I even felt guilty. I felt like I'd done something wrong. You know what? I jeopardized a relationship that a person gave me no reason to doubt them. And here I was going, nah, this isn't right. This isn't real. Okay, so and it goes even deeper because you kind of start to feel like you're losing something. You're losing a friendship. You're losing a relationship, connection. And for sure you're losing an opportunity. The opportunity to build something in your life that maybe doesn't get sold when you die. Maybe gets handed off to your kids, to her kids, so that they can continue to build it, a place for everybody. And that's one thing that she also stroked my ego about. You know, Michael, I'm constantly amazed on how you think about everybody. You just don't think about me or my family. You think about your family. You think about your friends. She goes, that's why I want to share this with you. Do you see what's happening? Okay, I didn't. I hope that you do. Okay, because I was emotionally involved. And that's why I relented. That's what you do. You pull back, you soften, you reconsider, and then you try and fix it. I did. Again, I tried twice. Hey, Kat, I'm out. I don't get, nah, this can't be right. I'm still so angry with myself about that I didn't stick with my guns, that I didn't listen to my head. Okay? Then comes the move, and here's the critical part. Changes everything. Here it comes, the forgiveness. Okay? It's Michael, it's okay. I understand. When people were teaching this to me, I did the same thing. I said, look, this can't be right. This can't be real. And then the three words, okay? There was a little bit of small talk, and, I guess if you want to call it, we made up. And here they came. I love you. Now stop for just a second. That wasn't where this was going to begin with whatsoever. That message of, hey, I'm just looking for a few new friends. Do you want to talk? And I said, sure. I did not say, I love you. Yeah, let's go. No, that was not it. Am I guilty of it? I am. Yes, I am. I admit to that. All right. And you can throw darts at my picture or whatever, and it's well deserved. I deserve it. But again, I'm just trying to relay to you what happened. Okay, but I want to stress that's not where this was supposed to go. Not from my viewpoint. From hers, from the bot, whoever it was, absolutely it was. Because this started as a conversation, a connection, a business opportunity. Somebody's showing me a way that I could live in the same way that they could live. That I could pass that down through the generations. That's what we talked about. Now suddenly it's something entirely different. Now let me talk about that shift. That is not accidental. It's just another way of keeping you off balance. Because now you're not just thinking about money, you're thinking about feelings, the connection, the loss of a friend, the loss of a business partner. There's true attachment there. There is. You do care about this person. There's no doubt about it. Okay? This is what I call the override. And it does not happen gradually. It's not subtle. It happens completely with those three words. The empathy, the dopamine, the connection that gets established. All of it comes together. And guess what? Logic does not disappear. It simply loses the battle decisively. Now, what I call the attachment override model is what I mean by that is that emotion overrides the logic. And it likely does from here on out. Okay? Because that model, that situation that you've been groomed for is now complete. All right? From that point forward, getting out becomes even more difficult until one thing happens. And you can guess what that is as well. until you get ghosted. Because you are going to get ghosted. All right? Once they find out that, hey, you're done or you don't have anything else to give, guess what? Hey, where are you? Hey, we're right in the middle of this. Where are you? We were talking about this. There's problems we need to deal with. No response. No response. And then the gravity of it sits in with you. And you ask yourself, what in the hell, have I done? You're going to ask that. You're going to ask yourself that for months. And guess what? There's not going to be really any answers. You're going to answer it yourself because you know good and well what you've done and what happened. So here's the reality. You've probably lost a lot of money. There's no romance. And again, that's not where this was supposed to go whatsoever. For you, it absolutely was from the very beginning with this other individual. There's no relationship. Never was. There's only manipulation. By who? Someone who's highly trained, highly practiced, executed by someone who knows exactly what they're doing. And that I love you was the anesthetic. So that you didn't feel the hook slip in. You didn't feel it go deep. Because that one isn't usually not going to come out until the end. But I can guarantee you that's not affection. And once that hook is set, everything that follows gets deeper. It has to, because the money, the opportunity, the ask is going to get bigger. The challenges are going to come, and they're going to get bigger. And guess what it's going to take to resolve it? You guessed it. More freaking money. Okay? More crypto. More money. Fix the blockchain. Oh, it's just a deposit. We'll get it back. Oh, don't worry. The consortium runs into this all the time. They're telling me that, hey, don't, it happened to me. Okay, the assumptions, the assertions, the assurances are going to come. Don't worry. Don't worry. We're in this together. It happens. I know how to get around this. Trust me. And you will. Because that relationship is strong. And it's going to get stronger until you get ghosted. Look, thank you for listening and for spending a few minutes with me again today. This has been the Anatomy of Modern Romance Scams. I really hope this has helped understand how these scams work and how my situation is a textbook example of what they call pig butchering. I hate that term. When the FBI said, oh, you've been pig butchered, when I called the IC3, it took that person 10 seconds and said, oh, yeah, you got pig butchered. I went, what? Never heard of that. It still slaps me across the face whenever I talk about it, whenever it comes out of my face, whenever I utter the words. Please don't let that happen to you. Because awareness is one of the few things that we can do to stop this before it starts. So join me next time. I hope you will. As we talk about what happens next, how things grow, how pressure builds. And believe me, pressure impacts your decisions as well. And why it becomes harder and harder and harder to walk away. Until then, please stay aware. Please talk about this situation. It is epidemic, not only in the U.S., but globally. In 2025, April Helm shared the FBI statistics that the IC3 complaints were over 1 million. I think it was like 1.2 million, something like that. Americans lost over $21 billion in 2025. It's 37% more than 2024, and I'm not sure how much that was an increase over 2023. The only way that we can really stay protected and avoid this is to talk with each other about it. Please do. It's not the easiest thing to talk about. It doesn't come up in everyday conversation, but stay aware, stay protected. Look, you've worked your whole life, and you've worked so hard for the things that you have. Protect your family, protect the investments that you've made, protect your self-esteem, protect your self-identity, protect your peace of mind. When you start losing those because of this situation, you'll understand really just how precious they are. You think you know, and I'm guilty of it. I thought I knew until I got involved in this and things started to slip away. Then I realized, yeah, I knew it was important, but now I know how entirely truthful it is. So stay protected, and always, please always stay safe. I'm Michael B. Until next time.